What? Hetty, what are you doing? I think Hetty's getting freaked out that I'm talking to nobody. Hetty, you made me lose my train of thought. Hetty. Here, I'll move it so you can trot across. What's up, honey? She's being silly. Alright, welcome. This is the first vlog that I'm filming in 2025. The last video I posted was my 24-hour readathon that I posted kind of against my better judgment. When I rewatched it, there were a couple bits in that video that I had obviously forgotten to edit. So I apologize for that. Sorry, I keep looking. If you see me looking down, Hetty is being a bit of a hooligan. She's just kind of trotting around. It's been a really fun Saturday so far, and she's feeling really playful. It's the weekend, it's Saturday, like I said. And Maxwell and I went out to the bookstore earlier, which I didn't end up filming, but was really fun. So I do have a very small haul for you. I thought I would kind of kick off a fun little reading vlog with a bit of a haul. And then I also had a couple other things I wanted to show you. First of them being, I decided I wanted to revamp my Kindle cover, and the one that I had was kind of getting a little gross and old, so I got a new cover, and I got a new pop socket. Look at this. It's a little it's a little bowl of ramen. I thought it was so cute. So I have that, and I have a bunch of stickers. I kind of just have a cache of stickers going at all times, and look at that one. That one's so fun, and it's true. So I thought I would do this with you, kind of redesign my Kindle cover. I need to talk to you about Anna Karenina, the Final Boss Book Club, which is my book club both here on YouTube and on the Fable app. If you have the Fable app, or if you're interested, you can go check out the book club there, or if you just want to join along, if you just want to tag along here over YouTube, I am going to be talking about Anna Karenina on and off. I am hoping to finish it by the end of February. And while I'm a little bit behind on my chapters for the end of this past week, I am partway through the second volume. There's 8 volumes in Anna Karenina, and I'm partway through the second. And I just need to tell you about it because I have been loving it so much. So we're gonna sit down and talk about that a little bit later on in this video when I'm reading a little bit more of that tonight. But I thought right now I would just give you a little bit of a haul. I already showed you my new Kindle purchases. The main attraction is really the pop socket, which I just thought was really cool. So like I said, my husband and I went to the bookstore earlier. We have a really nice used bookstore near us. We're really fortunate, and the lady there is so nice. And I got 3 books. 2 are mostly for me, and there is one that Maxwell wanted that's kind of for the both of us, so I thought I would just mention that as well. Maxwell picked up a really cool copy of Ivanhoe. Look at that cover. I thought that cover was so cool. It's I think it's an older Everyman edition paperback, and I've never read Ivanhoe, but I've always been curious, so I just thought that was a good pick. I'm glad he found that. And then the other book that I got, I'm still reading The Count of Monte Cristo on and off, and I saw this edition and I could not say no to it because I thought the cover was so cool. Look at this. I just thought, I'm not sure if this is supposed to be like the Monte Cristo Island, or if it's supposed to be the jail where the main character is held. But either way, it's so cool, and I do love a Signet classic. I don't even know if it's abridged or not. I just saw this and I was like, this needs to come home with me. I love Signet Classics spines too. They're so cool. So I'm gonna put that on the shelf. I should show you too. I rearranged some of our shelves. My dad very sweetly made us these platforms so that we could kind of layer our books. When I show you, it'll make a lot of sense, but it's a great way to display our regular sized books and our mass market books. And then finally, I only got 3 books, so it's not a ginormous haul. And actually, I need to clean this book. This is kind of gross. Uh-oh. But this, a little bit of backstory to this. I got the Forsyte Saga by John Galsworthy, and this is a classic. I actually hadn't really heard much about this series before. It seems like a bit of a soap opera, classic family drama. And I'd never really heard of it before, but recently I've been having some trouble finding audiobooks to listen to at work. And because part of what I do, I know I've explained it before, but I'll explain it again. A big part of my job is processing archival collections at work. I'm an archivist if you are new and you are not aware. And a big part of my job is just making inventories of materials and just kind of working silently by myself a lot of the time. And thankfully, I mean, I can't do this all of the time, of course, but thankfully I am able to spend a lot of time listening to audiobooks while I work. So this week I was, thinking about what really long series can I find that I can just throw on in the background. I don't necessarily have to question what my next read is because, I have like 8 more books ahead of me. So, of course, like, as I've talked about before, I'm a big Agatha Christie fan. I love mysteries. I also tried to see if there were any fantasy series that might be good to just have in the background that weren't too complicated. Sadly, I did try Outlander, which would have been so perfect if I had liked it. I tried that last year and it didn't end up working out, but I started listening to the Forsyte Saga at work, and while the language is old, of course, it is going to be something that I have to listen to when I'm just doing something that's like a mindless inventory or something like that. It was a lot of fun and I had a good time with it, and I'm probably just gonna chug through it bit by bit, but I kind of wanted to have a copy of it at home as well. And this is just like a classic old hardcover, but it does have the extensive family tree of the Forsyte family, featured in, of course, the Forsyte Saga. So, and the lady at the bookshop is really nice. We've gotten to know her pretty well. And she was like, "Oh, I love that book." If the lady at the bookshop likes it, it's gonna be good. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of a haul before we got started. In addition to Anna Karenina, I am reading a couple other books. When I say a couple, it's, I feel like I always have like 10 million things going at the same time. Like I said, I've been trying to dip my toes more into The Count of Monte Cristo. I have been reading this on and off since like literally this time last year when they were reading it for the Game of Tomes book club. I'm still a third of the way through. Maybe in 2025 I'll be able to actually finish this book, but I am in the mood for this, so I think I want to try to get maybe like another third of the way through. I told you I'm gonna read hopefully like the majority of the second part tonight. And then also, this was another series that I found recommended when I found the Forsyte Saga recommended as well. I actually had this on my shelves. I saw somebody recommend this series. It's The Invisible Library by Genevieve Cogman. And I had bought this like 2 or 3 years ago, and it's always kind of been in the like the corner of my mind, but I've never actually picked it up. There's like 9 books in this series, and it seems like a fun fantasy. the main character is a librarian. There's like a library that's trying to collect books, like magical books. It's a magical fantasy, of course. It's a fantasy. But I don't know, I thought this is really fun. I am not very far in. I was kind of sampling a couple different things. I spent most of the day yesterday listening to the Foresight Saga, but I did spend a bit of time with this and I'm really enjoying it. I'm probably not going to read much of this during this, not 24-hour readathon, during this reading vlog, but I just wanted to mention it because I'm really enjoying it. That's what I'm reading right now, unless I can think of anything else. Oh, I do have one more thing that I'm reading on ebook that I just found through the library. I read a couple books at the beginning of the year that I didn't really talk about on YouTube. I just kind of read them over the break, and you know, when I went back to work, it was really busy. I didn't have an awful lot of time to film. But I did read Weasels in the Attic. I really enjoyed that. That was like a 4-star. It was a solid read. And I was looking on the Libby app for books that the author had written, and I found The Hole, which I'd heard Ariel Bissett and Raylene LeMay talk about on Books Unbound a couple of times over the last few years. So I have been reading this and I've really been enjoying that too. It's a very short book and I have it on my Kindle right now. It's kind of like, I don't know, this was the same in Weasels in the Attic as well, but it's like you feel like there's something going on under the surface, but it's not talked about. Is it like a supernatural thing? Is it like a, you know, is there ill intent here? It's very cool. I feel like it's very well done, and hopefully I'll finish that ebook this weekend as well. So that is what I am reading right now. I have a lot going on. I have a lot of different things going, but I'm excited to read this weekend. I'm gonna spend a lot of the night reading tonight. Maxwell and I are also watching a lot of the Miss Marple TV show on BritBox, so we're probably going to be doing that a lot as well. And tomorrow it is supposed to snow. We're getting a bit of a snowstorm. I'm so excited. Snowstorms are the best for reading. So I'm excited to take you with me on a bit of a reading vlog. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am thinking what I'm going to do now is I'm going to decorate my new Kindle cover. I think I might just do like a time lapse or something like that. So let's get into it. I'm really excited to do this and put on the new little pop socket. Good morning. It is Sunday. It is a cozy, snowy day, and what better time to just read some books, cozy up with some tea, get comfortable. So this is like one of my favorite kinds of days, and I'm so excited. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Anna Karenina. Like I said earlier, I have, what chapter am I on? I'm on chapter 11 of the second part of Anna Karenina. So let me just tell you my thoughts about what I've read so far. I knew the writing was gonna be good. Like, I figured this is a classic for a reason. But I don't think I could really know the absolute beauty of the writing until I experienced it for myself. There are so many, like, the passages I have annotated and underlined so many passages in this book, and there are so many times I've just read and had to take a beat and really let what I read sink in. There are so many beautiful, beautiful passages. I really, really love Levin. You would think that Anna Karenina would be, well, I tapped my glasses. You would think Anna Karenina would be the main character of this book since she is the title character. But, I mean, she is a really big part of the book. Her affair with Count Vronsky is like a really big part of this book. It triggers a lot of different things that happen that I won't spoil. I will make the reviews that I kind of sprinkle throughout my vlogs spoiler free when I talk about this book if you're reading along, or if you're interested in reading this book. So I'll try to keep things spoiler free, but I will say Levin is in love with Kitty, who is, okay, let me see if I can get the relation right. Kitty is the sister of Anna's brother's wife. So they're connected in some way, but they are friendly. Kitty is in love with Vronsky, but Levin also loves Kitty, and Kitty also kind of loves Levin and all this stuff. So that's a really big part of the story as well. I'm shaking the camera, I'm sorry. That's a really big part of this story as well, and all of the bits with Levin are the best. Like, the first time we meet him, it talks about how much he blushes, which is just adorable. It's so cute. He's a little teddy bear. You just want to pinch his cheeks. So, I have just loved that. The description of the feelings of the characters are so vivid, and it's not, how do I say this? The way that Tolstoy writes about the feelings of the people in these difficult situations, like a big part of this book is infidelity, people who are stepping out on their marriages and having relationships with other people. The book, it's very sympathetic to people, to the characters on both sides of that situation, but it's also not, like, the writing is sympathetic, but it's also not gonna gloss over it, if you know what I mean, where it's like the beginning of the story is about how Anna Karenina's brother, like, this is the first line or the first paragraph of the book. This is not a spoiler. So Anna Karenina's brother cheats on his wife, who is Kitty's sister Dolly, and you hear about his perspective, how he's born in his marriage, blah blah blah. You can tell I don't like that character very much. But then a few chapters later, you get Dolly, his wife's perspective, and how devastated she is, and you get like you see her emotions and how it makes her feel, and it's just, I really love how we kind of are able to get such a good idea of like the situations that are going on, what the characters are going through. You really get such an in-depth, a good idea of what is going on in the heads of each character. It's basically what that's basically what I'm trying to say. I feel like I kind of pontificated there, I'm sorry, but I just love that. I think that his writing is so accessible. There are times where I'm reading, and I've been reading for a while, and I read my 5 chapters, and I'm like, I could read another 5. Like, the pages fly, the chapters fly. It is so readable, and it's also becoming kind of painful because I don't like Vronsky. I don't want Anna to get into a relationship with him, but I mean, that's the main point of the book. You know it's gonna happen, but I think he's slime and I don't want her to end up with him, but I am just enjoying it so much. I'm very emotionally invested. I'm very emotionally invested in Levin's story. His his feelings, his blushes, it's so cute. I love him so much. Honestly, if this book was entirely about him, I would have been like 100% okay with that. I don't know, it's so funny. I just love him so much. So that is my update for Anna Karenina. I am going, like I said before, I am behind. By the end of today, I would like to be finished with the second part. How many pages is that? I don't know if that's actually gonna happen. Okay. I am behind, aren't I? Woof. Well, I have my work cut out for me, don't I? We'll see if that actually happens today. I do want to try to read some other things. I've been getting back into manga as well, and I've been having a lot of fun with that. So, but I will try to get as far as humanly possible with Anna Karenina. Like I said, I really have been getting back into manga. I've been having so much fun with it. Last night, I read a graphic novel called Talk to My Back. I've been enjoying that so much. Why did I say that? I'm finished. I enjoyed that book. It is about the life of a 1980s housewife in Japan. It kind of chronicles a few years in her life. And I thought it was good. It wasn't my favorite. I think it would probably be like a 3-star for me. I don't think I would reread it, but I think considering how groundbreaking that book was at the time, the edition that I read, that I borrowed from Libby, had a whole like afterword about the author and about how much of an impact her work and that graphic novel in particular, how much of an impact that made, and it was just really amazing to read about. So even though it might not be my favorite book, I do think it is a worthwhile read. If you can get it from your library, I would highly recommend it. I do have, ooh, look at that cover, yuck. I do have a couple other mangas to read. I have been rewatching Fruits Basket. It is my all-time favorite anime, manga, story in general. It is one of my favorite things. And I always kind of reserve my yearly rewatch for this time of year. Like the late winter, early spring is when I try to do my Fruits Basket rewatch. And I have watched that anime so many times through now, but I haven't finished reading the manga. I've read probably the first like 3 volumes of the omnibus versions of the manga. So I looked through all of my old spreadsheets where I track my reading. The last time I read a Fruits Basket was in like 2022. How is that acceptable? That is unacceptable. So I am just gonna restart the whole thing. Maybe one of my goals can be to read the whole manga this year. Can I do it? We'll see. Whenever I get so emotionally attached to something, it's really hard. I don't know why. It's whenever I get emotionally attached to a book, I find it hard to finish the book, the series, whatever it may be. But I am so excited. Look, I'm so excited to read it again. Look at it. Isn't it beautiful? So honestly, I'm gonna read as much as I can of Anna Karenina, but I might make Fruits Basket the focus for today because It's snowing. It's so cozy. All I want to do is really just watch and read Fruits Basket. So, look at the art. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, it flipped. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, oh my goodness. Oh, the first page. If you're unfamiliar with Fruits Basket, a very quick rundown of the story is it is about a girl whose mother has recently died. She is basically orphaned. She is living with her grandfather, but her grandfather doesn't necessarily kick her out. His house is under renovations and tells her she has to find somewhere else to stay while the renovations are going on. So, because she doesn't want to impose upon her handful of friends, she goes out into the woods and lives in a tent and just tries to hack it on her own for a bit, and that's kind of where the story starts. And she meets the Soma family. The Soma family has a curse upon them where members of the family are possessed by the spirits of the zodiac animals. So the cat, the rat, the dog. This 2025 is the year of the snake. So like the snake, so on and so forth. So she befriends the Soma family. They take her in, and the story kind of goes on from there. She just becomes a part of their life. It's a slice of life manga and anime, I'm pretty sure, but it's so much more. It has romance, it has like such beautiful haunting stories about the family members. It is just, there's so much going on in that manga, in that anime. I cannot that's just like skimming the surface of what happens. It's like kind of like a soap opera, but so much better. I just love it so much, and every time I rewatch it, I get something new out of it. I'm so excited to reread it as well. So, I think I am going to make myself a bagel. I may make some tea and get to reading. Maybe I'll read a little bit of Fruits Basket, and then I'll switch over to Anna Karenina.